Hey everybody, welcome back to Leosophy. Happy 4th, all my fellow Americans, even though it does feel kind of like a sham holiday. My favorite holiday, too, by the way, but it definitely doesn't feel the same and hasn't, for me at least, for like 12 fourths, which is weird to think about. But yeah, this is the Mental Diets July episode, so I'm going to be compensating on all the hot dogs and hamburgers I'm probably going to eat today and really double down on my mental diet. So, right now, for fiction, I'm actually currently, I never read Ivanhoe as a kid, so I'm reading Ivanhoe. And so far, it's been very entertaining, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, so Ivanhoe, that's the fiction. For nonfiction, I am currently reading Alan Watts' The Book, which is a very, very ostentatious title for a book, in my opinion. And I do have mixed feelings about it. It's funny. I think, there are some people in this world who are just so much better speakers than writers, and vice versa, obviously. But we rarely see the former. We see the latter plenty. But I really don't think he's that great at putting his rather unique and interesting ideas on the page. And this is not me saying don't read it. I actually really like the book, but and it's a very short read. But I also will admit that I much prefer listening to him rather than reading him. So, yeah. Speaking of listening, as far as music goes, I have just been on an Eagles kick. I don't know why, but I have been listening to the Eagles like all month. It definitely feels kind of patriotic, doesn't it? That and Tom Petty. Tom Petty and the Eagles, and I realize that that's not really great mental diet stuff, but sometimes you got to be honest and admit when you're eating cheesecake instead of salad, and that's what I've been listening to. So let's see. In terms of film, I can't believe I have not recommended my absolute, well, maybe not my favorite, but one of my favorite films ever, and that's Harvey. If you've never seen Harvey, if you've seen Donnie Darko, Harvey's like the original Donnie Darko, and it is not dark at all. It's a very comical film, and I love it. It's one of the best stories, especially given the time period in which it took place. Like it's something that I can imagine being pitched today with much fanfare, and probably ruined because they probably want Harvey to be CGI instead of invisible. But at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that it's a really, really delightful story. Highly recommend it. Really great movie. Let's see, television. I recently got into Rome Empire of Blood, and I realized that it is on Netflix, and yeah, I am going to cut that cord eventually. But it was really good, and it didn't have any of the elements one normally associates with Netflix. So it was really, really, really good so far. I'm only two-thirds through it though. And in terms of family entertainment, I have to say I have not seen too much lately in that genre that would warrant a recommendation. So I'm gonna have to go dig deeper, old school. Um, I think that in terms of good versus evil, there's several Disney films, old obviously Disney films, not pre-paused Disney films, that really convey that. But I think Sleeping Beauty probably conveys it the most um, traditionally, I suppose. I mean, it is uh, it is a very black and white good versus evil story to a point where it almost feels pre 19th century. It doesn't even feel like a 20th century film. It feels like something that predates film itself. Sleeping Beauty does. So if you haven't seen it or you forgot about it and you have kids or something, I highly recommend watching that. Bear in mind, it is a little as true to most older stories. It is a pretty creepy one. I think it might be one of the spookier old Disney films. Really, like it's got some nightmare fuel moments, especially near the end. But I think that covers everything. I think we did fiction, we did nonfiction, we did music, we did film shows, kid shows. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, keep asking questions. Bye.